Hey, normally I would tell you I don't have all the answers, but today I do. I'm just not the person asking the questions. Oh, it's a very different edition of the Meaningful Meeting, so let's get started.
Whatever you're going through, you will get through it because you're here, and that means you are not alone. This is the Meaningful Meeting. Now your host, Ace Cannon.
I'm actually not even the host today. I'm more of the guest.
Yes, now your host, Amanda Cannon.
So this idea was spawned from a couple of weeks ago, and Amanda came to me and said, hey, here's an idea. What if we turn the tables? And what was it that made you want to ask me questions about this?
I think you've been doing this for this particular Meaningful Meeting for a year or two now.
Yeah.
And so I think it would be interesting to get a more in-depth look at kind of the things you're going through, what your thought process is. And you kind of share that when you go over different topics, but no one's actually interviewed you. You've interviewed other people like my dad and friends and business associates, but you've never really been interviewed yourself. So I thought I would do that.
All right. So then I am out of this. And Amanda will ask the questions and I will answer. I haven't seen any of this in advance. I don't know anything about it. I am along for the ride just like you are from this point forward on this week's edition of the Meaningful Meeting.
Okay, so we'll get deep, but I want to start on a positive note, and then I want to end on a positive note, and then in the middle we'll get into the.
Let me say one thing for people that are watching on YouTube. If you see me keep looking off to the side, baby Dax is over to the side over here. He's sitting in a little chair, so I'm making sure he doesn't need his pacifier or anything while he's hanging out.
He's very active, so we'll see how this goes.
He's a little grumpy today, so.
All right. So first things first, what makes you happy? The first thing that comes to your mind?
Seeing y'all happy. When you're happy, when Dax is happy, when Cade's happy.
So other people's happiness.
That makes me, if I do something that makes other people happy, that makes me happier than anything else that ever happens to me.
So not other people. What makes you happy?
Making other people happy.
But pick something other than others' happiness. Like what matters when it comes to your happiness?
Like that's the most important thing is when I'm doing, it makes me happy to provide for people. It makes me happy to give them experiences. It makes me happy.
So kind acts maybe.
All those things. And it's all kind of the same thing. That's the thing that provides me and always has the most happiness in life is when people say like, hey, like this was awesome that we got to do this. That makes me happy that I was able to do that. You know, when something is going well and you're happy at the house or something, or you get something that you like or that kind of stuff, or you just say, hey, today was a great day. I was really enjoyed doing that. That makes me happy because that's what gives me happiness.
Okay. I love it. What would you say is your biggest weakness?
I am way too, I don't relax really well. I'm not good. My biggest weakness would be that I just get frustrated with myself a lot. I find that I'm really never, I don't know if satisfied is the proper term or just
content.
Really never, content is a good word. I'm never really content. I never feel like I'm at peace. Like, oh, this is good. You know what I mean? Just always seems to be moving. My mind never sits still, and I always stress about everything. And
when's the last moment or day where you felt content?
Couldn't tell you. It's been years.
Why do you think that is?
Probably. I can't tell you. Let me think about it. Probably fully content, at peace. When we were in Jamaica after getting married.
I knew you were going to say that. Because
we were away from the world. So there's nothing I can do. Like in that day, the only thing I could do was be there in that moment with you. Mm-hmm. And as excited as I was for Dax to be born and everything, it's still a stressful day because I worry about your health, worry about what we're doing, I worry about his health. Mm-hmm. You know, it was wonderful and it was very, it's one of the greatest days of my life, but it's not
completely stressful.
You're not at peace the way we were those 4 or 5 days, whatever it was, in Jamaica after the wedding, when there was just the two of us and nobody else around, and you just have nothing to do but just relax and enjoy your time.
Okay. What one word would you use to describe grief? And I know grief is a word, but if you had your experience with losing Peyton and your mom and just your dad, like what one word would you describe your grief journey?
Overwhelming. I think grief is an overwhelming emotion when it comes, and it's and it varies. You know, like for example, I was sad that my mom died, but I know that for my mom, that was the best thing because she valiantly fought Alzheimer's and dementia the best she could. But it was a relief because of how far you had seen her fall. You know what I mean? When my dad died, there was no reason for him to die. He had a stroke and he had fallen at his house and he had a stroke and this thing. But the reason he died, he didn't take care of himself. So it wasn't, I was super sad, very sad. But it wasn't like shocking. Like, I can't believe this happened. He hadn't been healthy for a long time because it's his own fault. When Peyton died, like that's not the way the world works. Like, that's not how it's supposed to be. And that's one of those things that you're just like, that's an overwhelming thing that I find difficult to control from the standpoint of you can't, like sometimes you just get sad. Sometimes it just, you see something and it you know, you can't help it and you start to cry. Like that's what I mean by overwhelming is that never leaves you. And there's a part of me that hopes it never does.
Yeah.
Because that makes me scared, like that I'm forgetting her, you know.
And you won't.
I know, but it's, you know, you worry about that. Like I hope I always, this is weird to say, but I know I've read enough and talked to enough parents who've been through similar things that a lot of times they'll say the same thing, that they hope that they never lose that also, because it's kind of like you're afraid that you're moving past them. You know what I mean? So that's it.
So it's kind of interesting. Sorry, baby Dax.
I'm giving him
Baby Dax is being a little noisy. So when you say overwhelming, it's kind of interesting because you're describing the beginning and the initial announcement or finding out about a death is overwhelming, but also the thought of not getting over it, but healing from losing that person is also overwhelming because of the guilt you'll feel.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, I think like I know that it wasn't my fault that Peyton died in that car crash. That was Peyton's fault. She made a couple of decisions that were bad decisions in that moment, in that night. But I feel a tremendous amount of guilt for that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a universal amongst parents who have kids die. They all feel guilty.
What could I have done?
What if I had done this differently? What if we had done this differently 2 years ago? Would we have been in a different situation? And I try not to do that because I know you can what if it to death.
Yeah.
But there's no escaping when it comes down to it. It's her fault. Yeah. She made a couple of bad decisions, and that's led to a car wreck, and that she died, and it's tragic. But you never, as the parent, you'll never get over the what ifs of, or
I could
the
have.
guilt. Yeah, the guilt of maybe we should have done, if I'd have done this differently, that kind of thing,
Okay, so what is one thing you want to do before you die?
Have money again.
Can we pick something like
That's my answer.
That's not monetary related. Like, what's one thing you want to experience? And don't say be rich.
I want to have the experience of going to like an LSU game with Dax and with Cade.
We'll definitely do that, baby.
I do. I want to go. I want everybody to go.
Yeah.
I hope that, as everybody gets older, Peyton and Cade were able to experience something, because my friends that I grew up with all have, even my friends here, everybody has kids about the same age. Mm-hmm. So we were all able to do things. Like there was this weekend we all went to LSU and brought our kids, and it was epic.
Yeah.
Everybody still talks about it. All the kids still talk about it. It was perfect. It couldn't have gone any better. And I've got to create those experiences in a different way for Dax, because it's just a different, it's not his fault that his dad's older. I still have to do these things. Those are all the things. It's all like I want to go to LSU with Dax and be able to walk around and tell him, this is where I used to live, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I want to coach teams. Those are the things that I love. I want to do those things. And I want to give him all the experiences that I was blessed enough to give Peyton and Cade.
Yes.
Whether it's, going to ball games or taking cool vacations where they come back and 15 years later they're talking about what an awesome vacation that was. Those are the things that I want more than anything, is to be able to give him those experiences that they had, because I do feel guilty and worried that I won't be able to do that because things have changed, from that time. And I want him to have just as good of a childhood in those moments as they had.
Anything you want to experience just related to you?
Not really. I've done.
You don't want to like skydive or?
Nah, I've done a lot of cool things. I've been very blessed. I'd like
that
to,
you have.
I've gotten to do some really cool things, and I think that a lot of times I get frustrated and I get aggravated with myself, and I don't appreciate them all as much as I could have.
Yeah.
Because most of them were a tremendous amount of work. But I've been really blessed and got to do some cool stuff. So if I didn't get to go do anything else cool the rest of my life, that'd be okay. But there are lots of things I'd still like to go do.
Yeah. Okay. Want to share any of them?
Oh, things like a lot of it's. I like to travel.
Yeah. So travel is like really
travel
your experience.
is a big thing
With your family.
Yeah, I like going to see. I like to experience things. I'll take experiences over a super nice car any day of the week. I would much rather do that.
Whenever I get a bill for something, or whenever I'm about to purchase something that's not travel related, I immediately think, God, this could go to like a trip on,
Right, exactly.
to China or
I'd
whatever.
way rather go do cool stuff.
definitely.
Or
You and I are
honestly,
the same in that way.
I like having cool stuff too. Like I like having stuff like.
You want a real drum set. That's what you want.
Yeah, but I mean things like I liked when Peyton and Cade were growing up. I liked the fact that their house was the house. That's where people came. That's where kids came. We had cool stuff. We had a hidden room that you would pop open the door and it had a cool TV in it with surround sound and all that, and it was cool, and everybody enjoyed it, and that made it a really fun, festive atmosphere for their friends, and that always made me proud, because that's kind of the way I grew up with my friends and all. People bouncing house to house and hanging out, and people coming to my house all the time to eat and just being there. My house was always busy, so that's the kind of stuff that I love more than anything else.
And minus the one thing that you really want to do before you die, which is win the lottery.
This is the most important thing.
This dude is desperate to win the lottery.
All my worries in life go away at that point. So that's why I won't win it, but it would be cool.
All right. A little deep here. What is one thing you would say to Peyton if you could?
Hang on one second. Uh-oh. Hang on, buddy. Oh, he's getting mad.
You want me to hold him?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I put you on my shoulder for a minute? Yeah, okay.
Aww. He does love his dad's shoulder. He's into talking.
Is the
right
camera getting this whole? I forgot the camera's even on over there. Okay. You okay? Here, we quiet up here. They're gonna get mad. Okay. Hang on, I'm gonna get to your pacifier.
Y'all can edit this.
No, we're going with
Oh, okay.
it. Straight shot. We'll do the whole thing.
Okay.
Why
All right. So I'll ask it again, just
Okay.
so. What is one thing you could say? One thing you would say to Peyton if you could?
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's all. If I only had a chance to say one thing, it would be thank you, because I know that she knows that I loved her, and I know that she knows what she meant to me. But it would be thank you, because she brought so much happiness into my life. And even today, when I see things like little notes that she wrote and stuff, it's like, it always makes me happy.
Yeah.
You know, no matter what, all the time when I talk to her, I always ended up feeling better afterwards.
Yeah. She was your girl for
She
sure.
made me happy. Always made me happy.
Well, good. Okay, another deep one. What are you holding on to that's holding you back?
Oh, I don't really know. A lot of anger. I hold on to I'm a really, if we're going to get deep and honest about it, I'm a very bitter person I hold a lot of anger towards a few people, and I really don't let it go. And I don't act towards them in a way that I wish them any harm. I don't want anything bad to happen to them, but I feel like I deserved better than what I got. And I don't let it go.
Why and why don't you let it go?
I don't know. I wish I could. I feel like,
well, if you know you need to, what do you feel like? Because I think a lot of people experience this. What is?
Well,
you're only harming yourself
Yeah.
if you don't let it go. So if you know that you should let it go, and you know it's toxic to you, why do you not just let it go?
I don't know. It's too difficult because I feel like I gave people. There are a few people in my life that I feel like I gave them everything I had, and I didn't. Not only did I not receive that I got kind of cheated in the process, and that's. I'm a really loyal person, and I try to be a very forgiving person, but there are just a few people in life that I'll never forgive, and I'll try, but I'll never. It will.
Because
that will
they took
never
so
change.
much from you.
Yeah. Like,
Do you
and just-
see though that by not letting it go, they're taking even more from you?
Yeah, and I can see them and be friendly with them and talk to them, and they would never know. And I try to use that. This is wrong. I try to use that as fuel to motivate me to be successful or whatever, because I feel like if I'm not, they win.
Okay.
And there's a part of me that hates them, and that makes me. That doesn't make me a good Christian or a good person, but those are the facts of life, and those are the things I try to overcome. But I shouldn't say hate. I resent how I feel I was slighted, and I don't know that I'll ever be able to let it go.
Okay. So hate and resentment is what's holding you back. And I think that you would not be, you're
let me
not
change-
alone in that journey. I think a lot of people in life walk through life.
Let me take the word hate out of it. I don't know hate. I really, because I don't like saying I hate them. I probably at some point really
So anger and resentment.
cared about them, and I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody. I just resent how I was treated and will never let it go.
Okay. Here's a lighter one. I tried to, ebb and flow here. So, do you believe in love at first sight?
Yeah, I think so. Sure.
Okay. When has it happened to you?
Well, let me put it this way. I don't know that it's love at first sight. It's a
Lust.
no. It's like, well, I guess it is, because you kind of know. I'm a little guarded like that, but I know the first time that ever saw you, I was like, this is weird. Like, it's weird. This is different. And I've told you this before. It's the moment you were leaning down to put something in your purse. It's a line in your song. You were leaning down to put something in your purse, and I said something, and you laughed. And as you bent down, you looked back up, and the light at the restaurant caught your eye just right. And I thought, man, wow, that was different. That was totally different. Not what I wanted or what I expected. And that's what happened. And so I guess in a way I do believe in love at first sight. That would kind of be that. So that was just a really powerful moment that I was like, oh, this is different, you know?
Have you ever been out in public and seen a woman or a man who caught your eye, and you would consider that love at first sight, but you never saw them again?
No.
But you just know if y'all had ever spoken.
No,
okay.
It would never be like that. I don't, that's why I'm not saying, I'm not sure it's love at first sight. I think I would have to speak to the person or hear I've never seen anybody and was like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm going to marry that person. That just would never happen to me.
Okay.
In my life.
Okay. So people say life is short. Why do you do so many things you don't like and like so many things you don't do?
Okay. So why do you do so many things you don't like and like so many things you don't do? Well, it's life. You don't get to do everything you want to do. That's the way it goes. You have to do things that suck. You have to, let's be honest, if you're in a relationship, you have to do things you don't want to do because the other person needs them or it makes them happy or whatever the case may be.
So for others' happiness.
If you have, well, if your job warrants that, your just personal relationships, some people need things, people are different. So other people need things and you need, but you have to remember you need things that they don't like. And if that's what makes the relationship. So when it's good, really good, is that you're both giving of yourselves to the other person to, make them happy and build a strong bond.
Okay. So before moving on to the second part of the question, why do you do something you don't like? So, I get what you're saying. You have to do other things to make others happy, but what's something that you do that you don't like, but you do it anyways? So like exercise, exercise is always a good example. Like you actually enjoy exercise, but I'm just thinking.
I don't like doing it. I like how I feel after it's over.
Okay. So using that example, what would be the answer to that?
I don't know. That exercise is a good one because it's not like I would much rather lay on the couch. But it makes me feel good about myself when I've done. More so that than anything else. It makes me feel like, okay, I've accomplished something today. I did that. That was good.
Okay. And then why do you like so many things that you don't do? Like, what's something that you like that you just like aren't engaging in?
Yeah, most of the time, in most cases, it's time or maybe more importantly, time management.
Okay.
I'd still like to learn how to play the guitar. I took one guitar lesson and then I had to go pick up my mom the next week and I had to cancel the next one to go get my mom. And then it never, never picked it back up again, after that. Okay. It's the reasons I don't do things, time and money.
And learning Spanish.
Again, it's a matter of time. I've got that's more time management than time.
Okay.
It's just, I always can feel like I should be doing something productive as opposed to taking an hour to learn Spanish. You know what I mean?
It's okay to balance.
Yeah.
Do you hate or love better?
That's a good question. I think I love better. I love better.
You do both very hard.
I hate, yeah.
But I would agree with that. I think you love better.
I do want people to, if there's a dispute or something like that, I want, all bets are off at that point. Mm-hmm. But no, I think I love better because I really try to love people. And when I love somebody, I would do, there's nothing, friends, family, your parents, your brother, if I love somebody, I really will go to the ends of the earth to try to help them and make them happy.
Well, if you think about it, a lot of your hate probably started from love too.
Sure.
Whether it be a love of something, someone.
All that anger that I have is directed towards people that I feel that I care about deeply.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. How has your faith been impacted since the loss of Peyton?
That's a tough one. Because,
and I think you should be as honest as you feel comfortable here, because I think others might struggle with it.
I've talked about the fact even on the air that I've struggled with my faith, mainly from, it seemed like Peyton's dying set off a chain of events that for about the 2.5 to 3 years now has been really negative. Mm-hmm. And I think at some point my faith, this is going to sound really weird. I get it. My faith got me through the first part. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I leaned on that a lot. The belief that we're gonna make this something positive. It helped me get through her eulogy because I thought, God was using me in that time to help other people get through it. And I think my faith was on display. Like you were such a godsend during Peyton's death and right after and all that, helping me just get through everything. That was like that, kind of not restored is the wrong word, but invigorated my faith. Like, this is why I'm with this person. This person was sent here to help me with the, this is meant to be, that kind of thing. Because we weren't even married yet. We said 6 months or so until we got married. And then I think after that, somewhere I began to lose faith And I've even like asked God, like, what did I do? Like, what did I do in my life that has warranted so many negative things? And I feel like a complainer. I still have it better than so many other people. But compared to where I was at one point in life to where I am now, my question becomes like, what have I done? I'm not perfect, obviously. I have lots of flaws and everything, but all I've ever tried to do was be successful, take care of people, help people, do more for other people. Why am I being punished in such a way that this has become so difficult, that life has become so hard, that life has become so different? And it's, it's a string of things, all of which we can't talk about, here in this environment. But, there were just a lot of negative things have happened since Peyton died. And it's,
do you believe that God will see you through it?
Yeah, I've tried lately to really think there's got to be a reason. Like, there's got to be something. There must be something special that I'm about to do to turn this thing around. Like, something special has to happen. Because I've tried to be more faithful. If that makes sense. I've tried to pray. There was a time I just quit praying. Like, he doesn't, and I would tell people, like, he doesn't care. He's, like, God's checked out with me for some reason, and I don't know what I did. I don't know why. And I've tried to reevaluate that and be the kind of the faithful person I used to be, because even going all the way back, for all the success that we had and I had some money, I had a great house. It was a hard time. We went through a lot. I went through a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah.
And I know I went to see a therapist a year or so ago, and he said, let's just start from the beginning. And when I went through like the past 20 years, he was like, I said, I feel like a baby telling you all this. He goes, well, first off, that's a lot of stuff. He goes, it's more than your average person, and it's all very intense. And I was like, yeah, but that just became what my life was, it was just life. And so I guess at some point I was like, God, this doesn't seem to ever stop, and so I'm trying. Okay. I'm not doing a great job. I don't know. That's all I can tell you. I'm trying. I'm trying to find a way to kind of recommit to that, and I don't know, I'm trying. That's all I can tell you right now.
Yeah. What is something that you love about yourself?
I think I'm loyal to people. I love my loyalty. I love whatever it is that has allowed me, and I don't know how to answer this because I don't know what this is, but whatever it is about me that has allowed me to have the relationships that I have in life, that thing is I love. I don't know what it is.
Your charisma, maybe.
But I love it. You know what I mean? It's that thing that has allowed me to have the same group of friends since I was a child. That thing,
and many different groups of friends.
Yeah, and it's the same thing that's allowed me to have a 30-something year. November will be 30 years that TJ and I have worked together, which is very rare. It's the same thing that's allowed me to have hanging out Sunday. Was it Saturday with guys in the band. We haven't played in 4.5 years, but we still hang out together whenever we get the chance because it's just fun. That's a bond. That's a relationship. It's the same thing that's allowed me to have, I've known Bird since 1987, like as a member of the family from college. I have all these different groups of people that are all still super close. And I don't know what that is about me, whatever that quality is. I don't know what it is, but I like that about
And you
myself.
love your loyalty.
Yeah, maybe that has something to do with it.
Physically? What do you love about yourself, like appearance-wise?
I can't come up with that. I don't have anything.
Come on.
I don't have anything.
Well, I'll give you something and then you can kind of think about it. I like your when you smile, you have these little long dimples.
Oh, well, thank you.
So what's something you like about yourself?
I don't have anything.
Or love about
There's nothing about myself that I look at myself every day in the mirror and think, that looks good. That's good.
You have good lips.
some people say they're too big. Some people say they're fine and they're okay. I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of my looks or my appearance.
Why?
The only time I've ever really thought, man, you look good, was right about the time that you and I met. 2017, 2018.
You were shredded.
Yeah, I was in really good shape. I was very proud of
You're
myself.
still in great shape.
I was working very hard. Had a lot of free time on my hands because, I was either just kind of secluded in life and I wasn't eating very much, just eat a couple things of peanut butter for dinner. Didn't drink at all really at the time. So yeah, then I was very pleased with how I looked. And I can still see pictures now from that time. There's one in particular we took at the radio station one day that I remember thinking, it was just like somebody snapped a picture and I was like, dang, that may be my favorite picture of myself that I've ever seen.
Why do you think it's so difficult for you to say something positive about yourself?
I don't know. I don't have an answer for that.
Do you notice that?
I guess. Maybe I feel like it would be bragging if I said something positive about myself.
Okay.
I don't know. I just don't ever feel like I'm really, I know there are things in life that I'm good at. Like I know I'm good at my job.
Well, don't go into that yet.
Okay.
There's a next
But
question.
I don't know. I don't know. I just never feel very comfortable saying, "Oh, I'm great at this," And I envy that in other people. I have friends that
confidence.
I have friends that will tell you.
Which is weird because a lot of times, sometimes you can be a little cocky and confident. So
Yeah, man.
it's like on the DL.
Yeah, it kind of just depends on what it is.
Yeah. Okay, last question.
Okay.
Which kind of ties into where you were going. But what is something that sets you apart from everyone else? So in terms of like the success you have acquired, like what is something you do better than anybody else? That you would want, do you think others should possess that?
I think because I am confident enough in myself to be able to share all aspects of my life.
Okay. So you're very open and vulnerable.
Years ago, we did a project on the show, off the air project. And we had to do this thing. We did like a weekend away thing. And we had to do this deal where they put up a chart and they would say, okay, now all the show members were there. And it was like, now we were working on personality, character definition is what it's called in radio and in acting and everything. And it was like, and I'll never forget, they said, okay, so like you don't get to talk. Everybody else will say what they think of you, words to describe you. And TJ, the first word he said was confident for me. And everybody went, yes, put that up there, confident. And then they were like, the rest of the words were like self-deprecating, outgoing, open. And the guy doing it was pointing out all of that stuff comes from confidence, that I'm not afraid to share, things that I do wrong. I'm not afraid to share things that make me sad. I'm not afraid to share things that make me happy. The same things that make me happy today are the same things that made me happy when I was 16. I haven't like grown a great deal. It's all the same stuff, but I think that's it. There's something about my openness, and I do feel it doesn't bother me in the least to tell a story about when I do something stupid and break something, because I'll tell you,
or put Vicks Vapor Rub on our son's pee-pee.
I don't have to tell people that stuff. I don't. I could not do it.
Yeah.
I could not have told them that I pooped my pants, that weekend at the beach. I could not have told them, that I got angry and punched a hole in a mirror and cut my hand open terribly bad or whatever. But
so your transparency and your
that's just
vulnerability.
life. I think,
and I think you used to have more confidence, but there's a confidence in that too.
Yeah, I think so. Because it doesn't bother me. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with what you think because I'm honest with you about it. So maybe that's it. So maybe there's some honesty in there as well as a person that I think people like. Why are you laughing?
Because if the camera can catch it, it looks like Dax is just.
Oh, he's
out.
I'm trying to move the guy.
Anyway.
Yeah, he's sound asleep now. My arm over here.
Well, this is fun. I just kind of wanted to
This was really interesting. Those
dive a
questions
little
were-
bit deeper.
That was really
into
good. The
who
questions
you
were
are.
good. Made me think about some stuff I've never thought about before.
Yeah. And I think sometimes elaborating on your struggle and diving deep and not just, creating a story around it, but really
Yeah.
explaining the emotions behind it might help someone else who's struggling with faith or struggling with their confidence or any of the things that we talked about.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it helps people because it's the whole reason that this podcast exists. And I talk about it all the time. Someday, the struggle that you're going through, the story of the struggle you're going through and how you overcame it is going to be somebody else's blueprint for how to overcome their struggle.
Exactly.
So it's a wonderful gift to be able to know that your struggle was worth it. So it helped others.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you ask what makes me happy. That's what makes me happy.
Well, water cheers.
Yeah, there you
We're
go.
going to go put
just
Dax to a proper nap now. Bye, guys.
Now, whatever you're going through, you're not alone. You are a part of the Meaningful Meeting, presented by the Radio Network. Copyright ATJ Inc. 2022.